So we got 5 games on the schedule tonight, including Dallas hoping to get a goal tonight rather than not like last night. Big matchup for San Jose. St. Louis trying to get things back on track for them. And as well as Detroit, I guess. Detroit trying to get back to 500, and this is starting to feel like last season. So let's go ahead and just start things off with Dallas and Calgary. The Dallas Stars coming off of being shut out last night in Edmonton, losing that one 1-0 in overtime. Now they're going to face a team that's got a little bit better of an attack than do the Oilers. A little bit deeper of an attack than do the Oilers. And if they go into this one tonight and are not able to withstand the attack of the Flames, this could get ugly early. Dallas is 12-10-3. Calgary's 14-9-1. Leading scorers for Dallas have not changed since the preview yesterday because nobody got on the board. Sagan, 7 goals, 16 assists. Radulov, 8 goals, 12 assists. Jamie Benn, 9 goals, 10 assists. Spezza, 4 goals, 10 assists. Klingberg, 5 goals, 8 assists. Shore, 5 goals, 8 assists. Heiskanen, 4 goals, 6 assists. And Esa Lindell, 3 goals and 7 assists. On the Calgary side of things, Tkachuk, 12 goals, 15 assists. Gaudreau, 8 goals, 19 assists. Monahan, 13 goals, 13 assists. Lindholm, 11 goals, 12 assists. Giordano, who is having a fantastic year, 2 goals, 20 assists. Backlund, 3 goals, 9 assists. Hanifin, 2 goals, 9 assists. And TJ Brody is on the board with 2 goals and 7 assists. And he's starting to pick it up. I like Brody, and it's nice to see him picking things up. And Hanifin being on the board as well. Hanifin's had a couple of goals in the last game. And now we'll see if he can build on that. Goaltenders, of course, for Dallas. Bao hasn't played since the one game where he didn't allow a goal. Khudobin, 4-5-2, 2.85 goals against, 911 save percentage. He'll be the starter until the return of Bishop, which should be as soon as today. Bishop, 8-5-1, 2.33 goals against, 922 save percentage. On the Calgary side of things, Smith, 6-7-1 record, 3.29 goals against, 883 save percentage. And Riddick will likely be the starter. 8-2 record, 2.04 goals against, 930 save percentage. Between the two, Riddick is right now the better goaltender. But as I've stated previously, the players in Calgary really want to see Mike Smith succeed, so they will definitely do what they have to help him out. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one tonight because I don't have a great feeling about it. In their last 10, Dallas is 4-4-2. They lost their last 2 games. Calgary's 6-4, and they won their last game. On the road, Dallas is 4-7-2 now, so they've won 4 out of 13 on the road. Calgary's 7-3-1 at home. Against the West, Dallas is 6-2-2. Against the West, Calgary is 10-6. So Dallas, if you're going to avoid dropping out of the playoffs, now might be a good time to show us that that's something you're interested in because they're definitely in danger. I know the West is weaker than the East at this stage of the season, but it's not going to stay that way. And Dallas could be the one that falls out of the playoffs. I've seen this story before. Next up, San Jose, 12-8-5 overall. They're in against the 17-8 Toronto Maple Leafs. The interesting thing for me, of course, with San Jose is that we keep waiting for them to pick it up. Like last night is a good example of how their season has gone. They fall behind, they manage to catch up, and then in overtime they fall short. And this is kind of how their season has gone. They get close, and then they're not. The leading scorer for San Jose is Brent Burns with 3 goals, 22 assists, followed by Timo Meier at 13 goals, 10 assists. Logan Couture, 8 goals, 15 assists. Pavelski, 15 goals, 4 assists. Hurdle, 5 goals, 12 assists. LeBanc with 3 goals and 13 assists. Kane, 7 goals, 8 assists. And Erik Karlsson, still on the board, 2 goals, 13 assists for 15 points. But 15 points in 25 games, still not really where you envision Karlsson to be. That's on pace for about 50 points, which is not what they had expected. Likely not what he expected either. On the Toronto side of things, Mitch Marner is just killing it this year. 6 goals, 27 assists for him. That's 33 points in 25 games. So he's on pace for over 100 points. Tavares, 15 goals, 13 assists. Morgan Riley, 9 goals, 18 assists. Kapanen, 10 goals, 7 assists. And Austin Matthews, who returns tonight, 10 goals and 6 assists. That's right. When you don't think things can get worse as a Sharks fan, yeah, now you're going to face Toronto, who just got Matthews back. And there's rumors that Nylander will sign before Saturday, but he probably won't sign this afternoon and then fly over and somehow make his debut tonight. Kadri, 7 goals, 8 assists. Marleau, 5 goals, 9 assists. And Zach Hyman on the board with 4 goals and 7 assists for 11 points. Goaltenders, no confirmation for San Jose. It'll probably be Dell because Jones played last night. Dell, 3-3-2, 2.6 goals against, 913 save percentage. Jones, 9-5-3, 3.00 goals against, 892 save percentage. When you look at the Toronto side of things, Anderson's likely to get the start. Hasn't been confirmed yet. Sparks is 4-1, 2.57 goals against, 924 save percentage. He'll be the backup to Anderson's 13-7 record, 2.22 goals against, 932 save percentage. 4-4-2 record for San Jose in their last 10, and they've lost their last 2. So yeah, the hope that they'll magically turn it around is there, but I'm losing faith with each passing game. Toronto is 7-3 in their last 10, and they've won their last 2 on the road. San Jose has won 4 out of 12. 4 wins, 5 losses, 3 overtime or shootout losses. At home, Toronto is now 8-5, and that home record is getting better and better, which is why they're 9 games above 500 right now. Versus the East, San Jose's 4-4-4, which means they've won 4 out of 12. And for Toronto, they're 9-3 versus the West. Everything going into this game indicates a Toronto win, and it could be a big Toronto win. Absolutely. So for San Jose fans, I want to be wrong on this one, but everything I look at in this tells me, yeah, this is going to be a Leafs win that we're looking at. Next up, St. Louis. These guys, 8-11-3. They're in against the 10-11-3 Detroit Red Wings. So one team that's in a disappointing spot, and another one that's kind of where we expected them to be. On the St. Louis side of things, Ryan O'Reilly is their leading scorer, and he has 12 goals and 14 assists, and there's been some inconsistency despite the fact that his totals are excellent. Tarasenko, 7 goals and 11 assists. If he wants to put together a hat trick, now's a good time to put one together, or a couple. Perron, 6 goals, 7 assists. Shen, 5 goals, 8 assists. Bozak, 3 goals, 8 assists. Alexander Steen, 5 goals, 5 assists. Pietrangelo, 4 goals, 6 assists. And Zach Sanford's on the board with 4 goals and 5 assists for St. Louis to round out their top 8. On the Detroit side of things, Dylan Larkin, 9 goals, 12 assists. Nyquist, 3 goals, 14 assists. Athanasiou, 10 goals, 5 assists. Mantha, 9 goals, 5 assists. Franz Nielsen, 0 goals, 14 assists. Those are defenseman numbers. Bertuzzi, 6 goals, 7 assists. Cholowski, 4 goals, 8 assists. And Green, 2 goals and 9 assists to round out the top 8 for Detroit. Goaltenders, Jake Allen's been confirmed as starting. Johnson will be backing up with his 2-5 record, 3.12 goals against, an 898 save percentage. So Chad Johnson had a couple of excellent games in there where it looked like he was going to emerge as a starter, but it hasn't held up. Allen's 6-6-3 with a 3.27 goals against, 896 save percentage. Howard's the likely starter for Detroit. I'll say he probably is. 7-6-3 record, 2.68 goals against, 922 save percentage. Now, I had the video yesterday where I talked about Philly, the goaltending problem, and went through who could potentially end up going to Philly. And I didn't mention Jimmy Howard. I didn't mention Jimmy Howard because Detroit is trying to re-sign him. They're looking at a long-term deal potentially as well. And Howard's numbers are excellent. I'm not sure that Detroit would get somebody back who could put up those kinds of numbers. Bernier's the backup, on all likelihood. 3-5 record, 3.63 goals against, 892 save percentage. Bernier's been hot and cold this year, mostly cold, to be honest. So when I hear, well, what about Bernier? Well, Bernier isn't going to be an upgrade, enough of an upgrade for Philadelphia's goaltending to make it worthwhile giving up assets to bring him in. I wouldn't think, but it's Paul Holmgren, and he's done crazy things with goaltending in the past. In his last year as GM, of Philly previously, he did trade out Bobrovsky to Columbus and made a trade to bring in Steve Mason from Columbus. So I wouldn't rule anything necessarily out, but in Detroit's case, I think their goaltending is stable for at least this year. I'd be very surprised to see them make a move there. Over their last 10, St. Louis is 4-6. They lost their last game. Detroit 6-3-1 in their last 10, but they've lost 3 in a row, and they tend to go on streaks. On the road, St. Louis is a woeful 2-4-2 at home. Detroit's record is starting to get closer to mediocre at 6-5-2. Versus the East, well, this is not a common situation for St. Louis. They're 2-2. Versus the West, Detroit is 3-3-1. Now, of course, these two teams were both Norris Division rivals back in the day when Detroit was in the West. But while that rivalry may still exist between fan bases, I don't believe there's any players left who would have any harsh feelings towards the other side. But it's a game that harkens back to the 80s. So, it's always fun to see old Smythe or old Norris Division teams go at it with one another. Let's see. Next up, Anaheim. The Ducks, 11-10-5. Can they build some momentum? So they're coming out of a win over Tampa last night. They've got to feel excellent. Now they're going in against Florida. So on the face of it, you could say, all right, Florida's been mostly a disaster this year, minus the 5-game winning streak. Their goaltending, their number one guy, Luongo's hurt again. And so this should be a game that's won by the Anaheim Ducks. The problem with the Ducks is they've had many situations this year where they should win, and then they manage not to, which is why they're 11-10-5. Florida's 9-9-4. And Florida, every time they look like they're getting it together, it falls apart. So we'll see what happens here. Your leading scorer for Anaheim is Ryan Getzlaf with 6 goals, 11 assists. Rickard Rakell, 4 goals, 12 assists. Henrique, 6 goals, 7 assists. Montour, 2 goals, 10 assists. Silverberg, 5 goals, 6 assists. Aberg is on the board with 6 goals and 4 assists. Fowler, 3 goals, 7 assists. And Hampus Lindholm with 2 goals and 8 assists. On the Florida side of things, Hoffman, 12 goals, 11 assists. Dadonov, 9 goals, 13 assists. Huberdeau, 5 goals, 17 assists. So he's passing very, very well this year. Barkov, 8 goals, 12 assists. Yandel, 4 goals, 16 assists. Trocheck, 3 goals, 11 assists. Bugstad, 4 goals, 6 assists. And Ekblad with 4 goals and 5 assists manages to get on the board in 8th spot. Goaltenders, Gibson is highly likely based on the fact that Miller started last night. Miller, of course, now is 3-2-1 with a 2.46 goals against, 931 save percentage. Gibson is 8-8-4 with a 2.57 goals against and a 926 save percentage. Reimer's confirmed, so Hutchinson will be the backup with a 1-1-2 record, 4.17 goals against, 839 save percentage. Reimer's 4-5-2 now with a 3.39 goals against, 895 save percentage. He needs to come up with some good games here to reinstill confidence in him. We'll see if that happens. Luongo 4-3 with a 3.07 goals against, 902 save percentage. Being out and injured again, and I've been saying all year, I wonder if this might be his last year. If after this season he says I can't do this. It's just to the point where I'm injured too much and I'm going to retire. And then of course Canuck fans everywhere go nuts. Over their last 10, Anaheim's 5-3-2. They've won their last game. The Florida Panthers are 5-4-1 and they won their last game. So your guess is as good as mine which one's going to come out of tonight with 2 wins. Because Florida's at home against a team that's got a middling record. They should be able to beat them. But Anaheim's coming out of a game that they beat Tampa Bay, the number 1 seed in the East at the time. Now that, of course, would be Buffalo. And so they should be able to ride that momentum into a game against a lesser opponent and be able to come out with a win. And that's where we're at. On the road, Anaheim is now 4-7. At home, Florida is 4-3-2. Versus the East, Anaheim is now 4-2-2. Versus the West, Florida is 2-2-1. So again, your guess, just as good as mine. Go ahead and throw out whatever guess you'd like because it's just as valid as anything I might have to add to it. Pittsburgh, 10-8-5. Yes, Pittsburgh, I do think that this is the start of something good. And now they play against Denver tonight. Yes, the Colorado Avalanche coming out of a huge win over Nashville. Now they go home and they play against Pittsburgh. So this is going to be a nice test for them. Colorado now 14-6-4. Leading the way in scoring for Pittsburgh. Malkin, 9 goals, 21 assists. Kessel, 10 goals, 18 assists. Crosby, 10 goals, 15 assists now for him. Letang, 5 goals, 15 assists. Gensel, 11 goals, 8 assists. Hornquist, 9 goals, 6 assists. Simone now has 4 goals and 8 assists. And Alexiak's reached double digits. He's at 4 goals and 6 assists. He's not dropping out of the top 8 anytime soon. And we're all genuinely kind of surprised by that. Because while Alexiak has the physical side to the game, the offense, kind of a nice bonus. On the Colorado side, Rantanen leads the league. He has 10 goals, 30 assists for 40 points right now. McKinnon, 17 goals, 20 assists. Landeskog, 14 goals, 12 assists. Barry, 3 goals, 17 assists. Kerfoot, 4 goals, 14 assists. Soderberg, 7 goals, 9 assists. Gerard, 1 goal, 10 assists. And Wilson with 6 goals, 3 assists. Now, if we want to talk about MVPs, one thing I get curious about is we can look and go, well, it would probably be McKinnon that would get Hart votes. But I think Rantanen would get some as well. So would they split the vote, and that would lead to the vote going to somebody else instead? Like a Connor McDavid if the Oilers managed to make the playoffs. Be interesting to see what happens. Goaltenders, nothing confirmed yet. I would think that because DeSmith played in Winnipeg last night, Jari will play here. Jari's 0-1, 1.94 goals against, 946 save percentage. Matt Murray, of course, is out. 4-5-1 record, 4.08 goals against, and an 877 save percentage. DeSmith, after last night's game, is now 6-3-3, 2.41 goals against, 924 save percentage. On the Colorado side of things, I would expect Grubauer. Varlamov played last night. Grubauer's 5-1-2, 3.07 goals against, 907 save percentage. And Varlamov's 9-5-2 with a 2.32 goals against and a 927 save percentage. He's an excellent goaltender. Last 10, Pittsburgh's now 4-4-2. They've won 2 in a row. The Colorado Avalanche 7-2-1, and their winning streak's up to 5. So they go for 6, and they go for 6 against a team that won the Cup in 2016 and 2017. On the road, Pittsburgh's now 5-3-3 at home. Colorado 5-2-2. So they've only been at home for 9 games this year. And of course, I've talked before about how Colorado was excellent at home last year, poor on the road. This year they've got an excellent home record and an excellent road record. They could truly be dangerous. Versus the West, however, Pittsburgh's 7-0-1 now. So that's kind of turning into a fantastic record, which means that against the East, they're 3-8-4. So that kind of thing doesn't normally happen. And of course, the frustrating thing if you're a Penguins fan is you don't play Western teams until you get to the Stanley Cup final. You need to be able to beat the East. On the Colorado side of things versus the East, they're 7-2-2. So Colorado has an excellent record against the East. Pittsburgh has an excellent record against the West. And tonight, we're going to see which one of the two manages to maintain their momentum. So let me know, winners, who you guys like tonight, that kind of thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.